Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis. Coming from his car, we got Jojo. How are you doing, Jojo?
Today was the day I was contemplating trying to figure out how to do like a fake background and be like, where am I? But I have no idea how to do that. So just in the car.
How would you do that? I don't know if you can do that. Can you do it on StreamYard? I don't know if you can.
I'm not
You'd
even
have
gonna
to
attempt because I might mess something up.
That's okay. And then also coming in from the galactic outer space, we have Jonathan with a new hipster haircut. What's going on, Jonathan?
Representing my fellow aliens. Absolutely. I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I went outside today, so like that's something. I never really leave the house. So I went to the store, went on a little walk. There's like a nice amount of snow outside and crisp, fresh air. So I enjoyed myself. I went to the store.
Wasn't as
Cute.
cold as yesterday, so
I didn't
good.
go outside yesterday.
Oh, yesterday was
So,
brutal in Toronto. Just
well, it was like minus like 12 though, no? Something like
something
annoying.
mind melting cold.
Ooh. Hello, the hangout room. Hey, I'm glad you were able to see the notification. We are here. And Kenya, thank you for joining us. So we're going to be talking about Survivor. This is the what's the word? Penultimate? Penultimate episode of Survivor. I actually can't believe that we've gone through basically 3 months of this show. How are you feeling overall, would you say, Jonathan? Like the fact that we have all these twists. We have this game within a game. We should maybe catch up on that as well today. How are you feeling about this episode, this season on a whole so far?
Yeah, I mean, as a whole, you know what? I don't think I've ever felt before that there's a group near the end that to me it could be any of them. Usually there's someone that I don't want it to be that likely will be. There's my favorite is separate from that and they're, there as well. But yeah, and then there's usually someone who I feel like is just kind of being strung along. I mean, we still do have that, but sorry, Jojo. But there are I looking at them and at the end of today or yesterday's episode, there's the 5 of them. You're just like, okay, I really can see 4 out of 5 of them actually taking it home and winning, which I don't think I've ever seen before. So I think they have all their own arguments and they've all worked hard at it. And so, yeah, I mean, it's been a good season with that.
Do you agree, Jojo? You're nodding a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Jonathan, but I would say 3 out of the 5 I can see winning.
Who's the person that you can't see winning? Are you going to save that till the end?
Oh, maybe we'll save it till later.
Okay. I have a couple ideas of who you're going to say. Ooh, Kenya decided to go outside today too. It's nice out there. It's nice out there in the world. I want to be a normal person. I want everything to be open. I want it to be normal. I want to just feel like myself again because I like being outside. I forgot. I want to see people. All right, so the Hangout Room says this season has me in my feelings. My final 4 sabotage each other, so now I'm forced to cheer for Ricard. I mean, okay, this is the thing that I think is really interesting about this season, and even also we recognize it happening with Big Brother. With the increase in diversity, we have the pressure of the 4 staying together, the 4 Black contestants that have never had the opportunity to work in this kind of capacity with 4 other Black contestants. And I feel bad that they feel like they need to work together in order to appease me, because I would love to see them work together and get to the end. And then I also to have the narrative oh, you should have worked together because now none of you guys are going to win. And so I feel kind of bad for them in the sense that they weren't just able to just play Survivor. They also had on their shoulders such bigger, social issues. So we see in the beginning of the episode, Deshaun is kind of going on a little bit of an apology tour, saying to people that he doesn't want this to be about race and wants people to just play their own game. but it also is still about race. And then we see Erica also in a similar situation where she's like, I didn't want to vote out all the other women because like we want a woman to win the game. And so what do you guys think about just like these social issues that are coming into the game and the pressure that it places on these contestants that doesn't even let them play their game fully, I would say, to their fullest capacity?
I definitely get it. It's tough. It's a tough thing to talk about and to be honest about while in the game. So I appreciated the conversation between Deshawn and Erica. But we saw it in Big Brother 23. Tiffany played the game to get the 6-6, and then she lost. And I know that Big Brother happened after Survivor did, but I feel like Black contestants on reality television this past year have felt like they really needed to step up to the plate, and they see someone like themselves, they should want to work together. But that's their mentality, and that's the struggle is. Do you do what's great for your game, or do you do what's great for the viewers and people watching and little Black kids watching the show? So I see why it would obviously be difficult, but Survivor is a game that's all about numero uno. So that's where I have a conflict with it. And I think out of the two, I believe that Erica has been playing a more successful game than what just happened to Deshawn the last 3 tribal councils.
Where do you sit, Jonathan?
Well, regarding that topic, I think they've ultimately have chosen the game. We're seeing the struggle. We're seeing that kind of contemplation, that consideration of that. And I think they've, like Jojo said, they feel it on their shoulders, and we all know why. And it's a reality, and it's part of the outside world that they brought in. And I mean, that was discussed a few tribals ago as well. And yeah, I mean, I think that was accurately depicted, but it's Survivor always does that, brings part of outside it on the inside, it comes up, these things. But ultimately, I think that they've all chosen the game
Themselves.
and trying to win for themselves first and foremost,
Yep.
no matter how much contemplation or struggle it's varied. But I mean, I feel like they've all chosen that, and it's for them to decide themselves, right? It's a hard thing to
Yeah,
ponder and
it's
just kind
kind
of
of like the
figure out
opposite
what's right for them.
of what happened with Big Brother. With Big Brother, they're like they all kind of gave up their game. Well, the women seem to give up their game. Well,
Hmm.
mostly Tiffany and Hannah gave up the game for the Black men to be able to have a better opportunity to win the season. And in this one, everybody seemed to give up their game. But I really wonder if Erica or Deshawn will win the season, or if it'll just go to Ricard, who is not from either of those two groups. He is from an underrepresented group, absolutely, but he's not from the two main groups that we were speaking about this episode. So I think that would also be very interesting, that when we're seeing that, okay, these people didn't actually stick to the people that look like them in the game and work with them, and they kind of put them aside, chose numero uno, and then if they don't win, it's kind of like, what happens then? I think it's also really interesting. So we do see in the beginning of the episode that Danny is pretty upset. Danny and Deshawn are talking and about not trusting Heather and Erica. So it seems as though Heather and Erica did give them their word that they were going to vote out Ricard. Seeing how we know what happens the rest of this episode, do you guys think that there was a missed opportunity not taking out Ricard last week? Or do you agree with like how Erica was like, well, Ricard has never betrayed me so far, and then Xander's like, I want to have a meat shield in the game.
Well, I heard Xander say, or Danny say, that he was reliant upon Xander for that vote. But and yeah, I think that I always think it's a mistake. If you have a chance to take someone out, you need to take them out. And so I think that back when they were doing Shan, like, yes, you needed to take Shan out but not taking, and they made that move, which is great for them, but not taking Ricard out is just, I mean, yes, it gives you two other people served up on a platter that you can be like, let's do this one and then this one potentially. But at the same time, I mean, they should know that Ricard is literally, Shan said, I hope you win. He's in a good position.
He
He
wins
can
these
win
challenges.
stuff. Yeah. And he has his head on his shoulders and he's not playing sloppy. I would rather keep Deshaun's been sloppy the last couple of weeks. He's turning into the new Shan with that kind of like letting it wear on him. You know what I mean? Just like the game itself. And so I would keep someone like that in longer than someone who is like seems to have it together and like really on top of it. And Ricard would scare the heck out of me. He'd be out.
Yeah. I mean, I'd want to be playing with him and like, but want to probably take it. I would have taken him out at this opportunity though, I think. So, hi, Whitney. Haven't seen you in a while. Whitney says, I don't know. I feel like this season's a bit of a Heather steamroll. Next, Kim Spradlin, maybe. So, is that a dig on Kim Spradlin?
No, sarcasm dripping, Whitney. Leave Kim out of this.
Oh, like as in like Heather's steamrolling everybody?
I mean, leave Kim Johnson out of this. Like, leave all the Kims
Kim
out of this. Kim Powers. Leave Kim Powers out of this.
Well, what do you think, Jojo, about the fact that Heather has at least got 4 confessionals this episode, and she's only had before this 6 in the rest of the season. So she's almost doubled up with her confessionals in one episode.
I mean, there's only 6 people left.
So
they have to talk to somebody.
I would hope that they would talk to Heather at this point. I just want to know why we're not seeing her. I want to know what happened out there. Something obviously happened, or there is some sort of reason why Heather is not being showcased at all up until like a little tiny droplets here and there.
Yeah, but I feel like and that's the thing, we're missing island stuff. Like, remember, like the councils have been, almost half the show, I feel like the last few. And we're missing, because they're explaining it when they get back, briefly touching upon, well, this person said this, that. Like, why aren't we seeing that? Obviously, it was recorded. Obviously, you had filmed certain conversations, and we're not seeing that at all. And I think it's because of what they've decided, that how they want to portray the game this new season. But I think it's such a missed opportunity, because I want to see those moments, and I feel like we all want to see those moments. And like you said, what's happening? I want to know. Why won't they show us?
Well, I mean, rumor has it is that maybe Heather hasn't. Well, Shan came out and when she had like, quick word, what would word association, Heather, and she says ignorant. So having someone say ignorant, and then last episode, we do see Heather like being completely shocked by what the Black contestants are experiencing in the game, which is kind of like, where are you, Heather? Like to not be any sort of inclination that something might be going on. Anyways, it's very, I just don't know what she's thinking about or talking about to not have any sort of inclination that could be happening. And then we also see Heather talking to Deshaun, and she's like, well, can you please explain to me, like, what you mean and what you're going to? And I was just in my head, I was like, I hate when people ask me to explain like these type of things, where I think it's either like you do your own homework and research. I don't want to feel like being like re-wounded again about like my experience just to make you feel like, make you understand. But anyways, that's just my perspective. How do you feel about Heather and Deshaun kind of having a little bit of conversation here? And what do you think about maybe Heather coming across as ignorant and what that could look like?
I mean, 2020 was the year for everyone to kind of pull up their socks and, like you said, do the research, and engross yourself in it and understand your own prejudices or
the meaning of life is, sorry, you froze.
You froze for a second.
Yeah. I could hear myself gone. I'm like, where am I? It's echoing. I don't know. I jumped off the Queen Heather bandwagon a couple of weeks ago. I just can't. If someone is being called ignorant and we're not seeing them all season, I'm assuming there's a real reason. I did read into one of Danny's interviews after his spoilers, if you've not watched the episode yet.
I hope so.
I hope everyone's watched. But Danny had talked about how he had an altercation with Heather on the beach, but they worked it out, and he does think she's a great person. But I think his word was possum.
Possum.
I think that was his word to describe her.
So wait, possum. Okay, what do possums do? Just like hang around,
like roll,
and then
like
an opossum, like they play dead.
I guess.
Opossums,
or like they roll in a ball and then like like I don't know.
I just think like Heather, your privilege is showing. I just think that's like what it is. It's like it's an ignorance, and it's just an I don't know that prior to this she's wanted to fix that, or maybe she's living in such a bubble that I mean I don't know where she's actually from. So
terrifying. The possum.
So
they're
maybe
so
she
cute.
like
They're so cute.
That's cute.
It is cute.
But like this is cute until it goes.
Oh my god, no, that's even better when they do that. You're like, do you have rabies? I don't know, but you're cute.
Let's find out.
Cute.
Oh my goodness, they're like little gremlins. It's amazing.
Penelope.
So maybe like she's like, oh, like I'm just so like demure and like so kind and sweet old lady, and then
well,
so maybe
that's the thing. Like she's hugging everyone. Everyone's very affectionate with her. When we do see her, I'm like, she's very like on top. She's calling these people her friends. I just think she's on another planet.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any like malice there or anything like that. I just think it's blissful ignorance, and probably where she comes from, lives in her own bubble, and just probably hasn't tried, or I don't know, to educate herself on what's happening. And I don't know that she cared prior to this. So I'm glad something's happening to her that has required her almost to
like, let's get with it,
assess
lady.
kind of some situations. And that's the good thing with being put on reality shows. You get put into situations with people that you may not run into normally. So it could be for the better, for the worse, but I think for her it's allowed her to really kind of dig into it maybe a little bit.
I hear you. So the hangout was saying that we felt that they, or I'm assuming the camp out, chose the game at the wrong time. They should have ensured their numbers first. I can understand that. I can agree with you here, the hangout, that it's unfortunate that as soon as they went against each other, they completely kind of imploded, and one by one, each of them have been eliminated. So I think that the bad call there was the timing of going after or going after Ricard, or it was the fact that they told Liana about it too early. I think if they had waited till after the immunity, and maybe then, Ricard wouldn't have had the fire underneath his butt to win this, because like everybody knows that starting to win these things, you start looking like a target. So he might not have felt as inclined to win, maybe, so that he won't look so tasty. And maybe you would have been able to have a clean shot and then just do it. And like, it would have been too late for anybody to have any repercussion or like to turn anything around. So I think that their timing of taking out Ricard is what was the problem with them end up turning on each other, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, they could have taken out someone else to get the numbers more in their favor, and then worry about the whole Shannon Ricard thing.
Erica.
True.
Erica would have been the ideal person to take out that round, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or throw some votes on Xander, please. Just throw.
No one's even talking about Xander this round. Like, Xander's never in trouble this whole episode.
And I kind of know why.
Oh, is this part? Go ahead.
Okay, so Danny said in his interview that while on the island, not a single person was worried about Xander winning the game.
I did hear that, actually.
It's like he is, which is crazy in Survivor to think of like a young white male to be the GOAT, like someone you actually want to bring to the end to win. But I don't think he has any votes in the finale.
I mean, okay, I can definitely see it for many reasons why he wouldn't have any, but I do think there's a parallel world universe to us that he could definitely, for whatever reason, I'm always a big believer in that final speech can absolutely change minds. I don't think it's
Yep.
likely. I don't think it's going to happen. I would go Heather and then him as far as on the bottom of who would win.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I don't think it's, I wouldn't be 100% shocked. I would be like 95%.
Well,
I'm more impressed watching him. Sorry. I'm definitely more impressed watching him than I think the other players are of him during the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm more like his confessionals. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like, okay, you do have a brain. But I think playing the surfer, like, I'm kind of dumb, isn't doing him any favors.
Well, and also Evie and Tiffany, who have been at Ponderosa for the longest time, they aren't favorable towards Xander. The fact that he didn't really support his Yase, like it's not a great look when 3 out of like the 7 people on the jury are going to be from Yase. So I don't see Shan giving like the vote, and that would be 4. And no matter what, right there, that's going to be 4 votes that he's not going to get. So I can understand that being a real possibility. And then it would be 5 votes if Danny's another person that's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to vote for Xander, no matter, unless it's like just the final 2, Xander and Heather. That's probably the only way I can actually see him getting votes. But next, with anybody else there being an option, I just don't see him being able to get a majority. So
can you imagine final 2, Xander and Heather? Let's go back in time. No, it would not be fabulous.
Like, get that hourglass out. Like, come on, let's do it again, Erica.
Yeah. Where are
Erica,
you?
Where's the hammer? Someone
Where's
get the
that
hammer.
gray rock? Come on, Erica. Hi, Travel the World. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
So the Hangout says it was a missed opportunity for me. No 2 ways about it. I mean, I can see that though for sure. All right, Ricard would have been gone if he didn't win immunity last night. Yeah, but like that's an if, right? Like they had a clean shot the week before. They had people that were willing to do it, people that did put the votes on Ricard. So that would have been the time to take him out. When it's like when he gets so close to the end with like not a lot of people, with Xander having an idol still, Ricard capable of winning these immunities, being like, well, just get him out. It's just like it's not likely.
I mean, Ricard could have gone looking for one, even thinking that maybe Danny might have it. He could have still gone, like, knowing that he didn't have any protection. And you don't know. There could have been a play where he could have really tried to convince Danny, or not Danny, Xander, of giving him the idol to save him. And who knows? I could also see a world where anyone can be convinced of anything. Ricard's a good player, so I don't know that would have guaranteed him going home if he didn't win immunity. Likely, but I don't know if that would have guaranteed it.
So the Hangout Room says that not taking Ricard out wasted the Shan vote for me. I mean, it kinda. I can see that as well because it's kind of like they broke those 2 up that were in a really good position in the game numbers wise. They took out the biggest winning threat, and then you really are supposed to do like the 1-2 punch and like take out Ricard next. Like that really would have been the move of like the underdogs overtaking the game. So I agree here.
But I mean, who got their way in the end?
Erica. But I don't know if it was best for her because like as much as she says in tribal councils that Ricard hasn't done anything to me, like hasn't lied to me, anything like that yet, he would.
Oh,
like he doesn't care.
Don't you want to say that at tribal? Like I'd be like, yeah, I fully trust Jonathan. Absolutely, Jonathan has never gone against me. Like, yeah, and everyone wants him out. Yeah, I want him to stay. Of course, everyone's going after him. Perfect. If he loses immunity, okay, we'll take him out. But if he wins it, I want to be on Jonathan's side for the vote.
No, 100%.
True.
Very true. Okay, so Jonathan, you are our resident reward challenge expert. How did you feel about the rewards? So we have either chicken, grilled chicken and veggies, I think it was, and cake cookies and candy. Which would you have chosen for this reward if you were the winner?
I would have went into a diabetic coma because we know I love my sweets. I would have been like, I don't care how I feel about it afterwards. No, I would have made the smart decision. I would have gone with the healthier food. But yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting option. I mean, I don't know what that added to the game that like giving them an option of you could either go for this or this. I don't know if it really added anything for me, but sure.
And Jojo, you're probably the most family oriented and sentimental out of the three of us. Were you on team Deshaun when he was like wanting some letters from home or something rather than food be the option for the reward?
Okay, because the game is not 39 days, no. I could do a month. I can do a month without talking to my family. I get like it being 39 days, like the missing someone at that time, but on day like what is it, 23 for them, 21? No, it's fine. Give me the food. But at the same time,
Yeah.
if I'd been winning, I would have gone the sweet route for this reward if I had the choice. If I'd already been eating food, if I'd like had gotten the pizza, if I had had any like the merge feast, because
Like a little sugar rush.
I wouldn't want to fuel like the other people next to me. So I'd have like a little bit of
Mm.
chocolate and be like, you guys go ahead, like fill your booth.
Tank them
Yeah,
with the
just
sugar.
feel awful.
Then they'll have like
afterwards.
they'll just like sugar coma.
Yeah, and I'd be like,
Oh,
oh, this is delicious. Bite, bite, bite. Done. Cut off. Finish.
I
Do you know
couldn't
what,
stop
though?
myself though.
I didn't
Matilda.
really realize that sugar highs happen. Like I'm not a sugary person. I tend to enjoy savory flavors better. I'd rather buy a bag of chips than a bag of cookies. And so I remember I was working this one event. I was like a ambassador for Johnny Walker Black, and we had like it's like a big dinner that we'd be hosting, and we had this other guy from. Anyways, big event, and there was this huge table of like a chocolate fountain with different like fruits and stuff like that you'd put in the chocolate fountain, and then cookies you could put in the chocolate fountain. It was just so much, and like so I was like having pineapple with chocolate and like there's all these delicious fruits with this chocolate fountain. I just kept on eating it and eating it and eating it and eating it. I hadn't drinking any alcohol or anything, but I was like, bing, like, hey guys, I'm all like, I was so on like a 50.
But then you crash.
And I crashed. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was
Done.
miserable. I was like lying in the corner, like not living my life.
Listen, sugar is a real addiction. It's a real thing. Parents would see it in their kids. They know what we're talking about. But also, I had an iced tea and some banana bread a couple hours ago, and I took a nap just before this because I was like, I went down after going up. So I was just, but that's a good strategy, Jojo, of like trying to, sabotage them. Yeah.
I mean, if it was the three of us, I'd be like, okay, we can go have chicken and vegetables. But if I was like with two people that I'm like, I don't want them winning anything next, I'd go the sweet route. Whatever like lowered the chances.
Yeah, that's true. And that whole competition was like, it was funny. You were really seeing the wear and tear of people making really bad choices, and I enjoyed the comp. But yeah, like why are you shooting and no one's there? What are you doing? The whole Danny Heather team was a mess. But I was like, what is happening? And how are you not yelling at them, Ricard, right now? But I would not be impressed with that. But yeah, no, it was good.
So the
I feel like Heather was drowning. Like she was struggling, right?
I think a few of them were. Yeah. I mean, like I was like,
and Jeff's like, what a bad strategy. I'm like, she's trying to live. No one's yelling at her to be like, get back in there. It's like she can't swim right now. Let her be.
Well, like treading water and going after the ball is not in everybody's wheelhouse. I wouldn't be able to do that. I don't think either, unless I like. Were those nets? Would you be able to hold on to the net? Like,
I would think so.
Because then if we could hold on to the net, then it's not that bad. But like, if you're just treading water out there and then chasing the ball and I don't think I would be able to do that very well.
I used to tread water for fun for hours when I was a child because I'm a fish. I'm a good swimmer and whatnot, but I used to really enjoy it. Having said that, I don't need any letters from home. I don't miss anybody. Double the amount of time that I'm out there. I don't care. I'd be out there 39 days. I could be out there for 70. 8 days.
Full
It doesn't matter.
year.
Oh, stop.
I'd be like, I'd miss my animals, but that's it, because they're not writing me any letters, so it doesn't matter.
If you're on Survivor, Jonathan, I promise Ryland will be on a call for you.
Get a little FaceTime. Oh, I'd want that. I'd want that, yeah.
That's very
100%.
cute. Well, we're gonna have to make this happen now. Okay, so the two teams were, so Team Yellow was Xander, Deshawn, and Erica, and Team Blue was Danny, Ricard. Wait, yeah, Danny, Ricard, and Heather. Is that really what the teams were?
Yeah.
Wow, like, so Danny, Ricard, and Heather, like, I was thinking that they were gonna do a lot better than they ended up doing, but I guess Heather kind of held them back when she was just like crawling, saving her life. I get it, but like on the platform, and Kev's just like, I don't know what's happening here.
Not
But
just
also,
Heather. Danny was a mess. Was absolutely. He was like falling sideways, just standing up on a platform. I'm like, what are you doing? I think he was like trying to live as well. I don't know that he
waterlogged.
I just think it was like fatigue that no one could just keep themselves up, and I was. And just the look on Ricard's face too, because you could tell he wanted to say something, but we didn't hear him say anything. They were a mess.
Oh boy, Heather is ignorant. Like, where have you been living? I don't know, Heather.
That's what I'm saying. Where does she live?
Stay-at-home mom. That's what. No offense to stay-at-home moms, but I also feel like they should be the most woke because they're at home, online, looking at everything that's happening. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but what city? What state? You know what I mean? Some
Yeah.
very.
Let's see if we can find where she's from.
Ignorant places potentially.
I'm gonna guess like Wyoming.
Okay, Jonathan, where's your guess?
Ooh, I would say like, I don't know where, like Ohio. I don't know ignorant states.
guess.
I have no idea.
Somewhere. She's from Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, I love Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, but that's, I mean, they're all white. So I've been.
So there's that. She's only 52. She should know a little bit more, I think.
Well, I was shocked by like even Tiffany. I was watching the Tiffany Evie Ponderosa video, and Tiffany was like, "Tell me everything, Evie. Like, teach me." I'm like, Tiffany, you are young. You're with it. You're a teacher. I'm surprised.
You live in New York.
Yeah, like I was really surprised. Like her being like, "Why can you call yourself queer? I thought queer was a bad thing." I'm like, "Oh, Tiff, good God, girl."
Sometimes people with big families too, and if they're, you know, they're so immersed in their larger families that I don't know if she has a big family or not, but I just feel like they don't really look outside of that. So it could be a number of reasons, but
yeah.
Well, and also though, maybe how old, do we know how old Heather or Tiffany's children are? Because maybe like her children has not really been integrated in different worlds. Like my mom would be a little bit more, we'll say, woke, just because she has me and like all the people that I've brought into her life and all the TV shows that I've watched, and like having to give her a little bit. And I'm still learning absolutely on education about transgendered people and appropriate terminology, et cetera, et cetera. So like I'm teaching myself and my mom this type of stuff. And so maybe she doesn't have people just in her circle that are kind of involved and learning as well.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I unfortunately, obviously can't say any names, and I work on a lot of shows, so no one can track this down. But I recently got off a phone call with people about a show, and I was thoroughly disappointed with their views and how they were speaking of certain marginalized, and it wasn't certain ethnicities or anything, but it was something else, and it was just like, and these people are in their like late 40s, early 50s, and I was just like, how do these people run shows with that kind of view? And you know, it's just, and how they speak of it, it was just so ignorant. I was cringing. I was texting other people from the office, and that was just this week. So I mean, they're out there.
Yep.
They're out there. So the winning tribe or group, team, whatever, it was yellow. So that's with Xander, Deshawn, and Erica. And they do choose to have chicken and veggies. I think it is the smart choice. Absolutely. Is that all that happened? Really? Yeah. Like they need the protein. That's it. That's all that happened there for that. Did they show them at the reward?
Yes, they made a final 3.
Oh yeah, the final 3. I love that final 3. I was so excited about that final 3.
Yeah.
Sorry, take it away, Jojo. You remembered before I did.
Deshaun came up to Erica, Xander. They were sitting down. He's like, "Why don't the 3 of us just make this official?" But to be fair, if I was sitting there in final 6 with anybody else, it doesn't matter who the hell you are.
Absolutely.
I'm making a final 3. So
absolutely.
Do I think it's beneficial for Deshaun to go to the end with Erica and Xander? Xander, yes, but it should be Heather if he can make a decision. He should not be going to the final 3 with Erica, in my opinion.
And can I just say, I also thought that was really interesting because usually in these types of challenges where they divide the tribes, teams, whatever, I tend to notice that the people who are left out often feel like they need to get together and make like a final whatever or certain deals or whatever. And that didn't happen. And I think that's for several reasons. I think Heather's not that player. I think Danny's not that player. And I wanted him to be so much, but he's just not strategic. And
everyone wants Xander. Ricard
didn't have to. So he was like, well, I'm not, but I'm like surprised that there wasn't more talk on those 3 that were left out of that. Instead it was the people at the reward who usually just like enjoying the reward and don't necessarily talk as much game as the people who are left behind. And so I was like, I think it just goes to show who the strategic ones are,
Yep.
Whitney says, don't possums eat trash, or is that raccoons? It's raccoons, Whitney. Okay. I don't know if possums eat trash though, but
they probably do.
Sure.
That's why they're on the side of the road.
I've seen like a family of raccoons, and they're not raccoons, of possums. They're actually kind of cute.
This is my raccoon little ornament that I just pulled off my tree.
I love it.
It's very cute.
Very Toronto.
They're also, I love raccoons.
Oh my god,
and opossums.
Like raccoons are like real. Like they are so ballsy. This one raccoon. What did I tell you guys this? Like I have like a back. No, well, they were on my porch, and like I could hear like on like my back, like my door here, and I was like, what is that sound? And it felt like it was inside. It was so loud, and I go and I look, and I turn on the light outside, and I see just like these like raccoon eyes looking up at me. So I kicked the door really hard, and he just like still staring at me, like didn't flinch, nothing. This guy's just like, what do you want?
He wants to
invite the man. This metal door.
I would have invited the man.
I mean, he's so scary. He didn't flinch. That's a sociopath. That's terrifying.
No, in big cities, any of the that's what we're missing in Survivor is like I want to see those turtles on the beach. I want to see more animals. I want to see I know they're not allowed touching them or whatever, but I just want to see more of that.
Did you see that cute? Did you see that cute Survivor video that they did with all the animals on the island? It was really cute. They did like an intro and it was like, it's like snake, bat, lizard, snake number 2, spider. Oh, it's so cute. And then it's like, who's going to win? I'll find it for you. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. It was on Twitter. I'm like, this is adorable, CBS. Like, you're brilliant. I'm like, I'm rooting for lizard number 3. Like, she can do it. She's queen.
Okay, so Travel the World says, but next week they start over on a new part of the island and it's the finale. Does Xander's idol still count anymore? He still can use that damn idol at Final 5, which I think is ridiculous. So Xander
will be using it.
Well, I mean, maybe he won't, just so he can be like, I didn't have to use my idol. Like I had such a good handle on the game that like I could just like
I know I think he's kept it to definitely use it now, so I feel like it's gonna happen for sure.
But like, is a misplayed idol, is it flashy?
He should make a move with it. Convince everyone to vote out Heather. Him and Heather vote out someone else. He plays the idol on her. Yeah, just get flashy. Like you need to do something.
I'd love to see a little bit of flash. So Erica does say on this reward that Ricard is the next person to go out. And like, absolutely he is if you want to win. I think that he wins hands down against anybody in the final 2 or final 3. So yeah, if you can catch him. So I was like, good that you want to get him out next, but you might have missed your shot, lady. What did you guys think? Actually, Jonathan, I'll ask you, what did you think about Danny's idol hunt back at camp and seemingly missing it by like a foot?
I knew we weren't going to have one of those, at tribal, he whips out the thing and then you have a flashback. I was like, that's too good to be true. I kind of saw it coming right from the beginning with how they're editing it. I was like, this is Danny's time. And I just don't think he has that strategic, you know, essence to him. And I don't like, I'm glad he went looking for one. I feel like if he had someone, like if Deshaun was there, like, and then why wouldn't he just go afterwards when Deshaun's back? Like, I don't understand. Like and just they could have figured something out. I don't know. I just don't understand it. I feel bad, but I knew it wasn't going to happen. I knew he didn't find it.
I figured that he didn't find it either, just because of why would they bother showing that to us in the preview if like he was going to find it and be able to use it. I was a little bit like by how they showed him standing there, and then they kind of cut away, and then the coming back to camp, and Ricardo's like, oh, he has a smile on his face, like maybe he found an idol. I was hoping that they cut it right before he actually like leans over and finds it, and then we would see that flashback of like him like taking one extra moment. So I was hoping for that, but I was thinking very unlikely just from what we were already shown. So I was like, I do think it was a really good idea that Deshaun was saying with his reward group that like, hey, we should all go to the end together because we all have 3 different stories. I thought that was very smart, and I thought he should have kept pushing that. Why do you think he let his foot off the gas for this final 3? Because it would be a very balanced final 3, I think.
Well, once the immunity happened, I mean, he knew it was him or Danny, let's be real. And I think his behavior at tribal, which we'll get to, kind of cemented shooting himself in the foot. But it's also, do I want to bring this person further with me? Because I don't think the jury's going to vote for them to win. And Ricard's will be the next one to go if he doesn't get immunity. So Deshaun's not in the worst, like the other 4 are not in bad spots as long as Ricard doesn't win. So it's if.
Yeah. Well, Erica knows, and it's funny that I'm initially going to Erica's perspective, but for her, it's I do think she's like, okay, well, I'm not getting rid of Heather, and Xander's going to save himself, so it's either going to be Ricard if he doesn't win, or Deshaun if Ricard does win. I think, and I do see that happening. I don't think that they're going to turn on Erica, so I really think it's one or the other that for next.
Like Deshaun or Ricard?
I think one
Depending
of them is
on who
5th
wins
place,
immunity.
100%. Yeah.
So we do get an immunity challenge. I thought this one was pretty fun. They had to unspool. So there's kind of like the bowler arena one from Big Brother where they spin around and then they have to like do some sort of tasks. So they have to unspool themselves, do like a balance beam, carrying puzzle pieces over that had letters on them and solving a 7 4-letter word puzzle. What do you guys think of this challenge? And would you or would you not be figuring out every single 4-letter word in your head while you are running this challenge?
F. That's all I would be yelling, I'm sure. I thought it was a pretty good challenge. I don't think you need to like necessarily run off the gate with unspooling. Like I probably would have taken my time and gone into the balance beam straight ahead, completed it in one shot, done. But I thought it was a cool puzzle, and I did like looking the fact that it had to be front and back the same. I think that's what tricked up a lot of people. But if you turn it around and you see that you're doing okay on the bottom, just start thinking like, what are things Jeff says? What are things that are said in the game of Survivor, and finding 4-letter words, vote, idol, etc., etc.
I wouldn't have thought of them ahead of time because I would have had those words stuck in my head and would have tried to make them fit. Yeah. I would have let myself be inspired by what I'm seeing and trying to put those together and making 4-letter words. We all know what 4-letter words are. So you can just, what do I see? There's only a definitive amount, like how the puzzle's working, what it's probably starting off with. So I would have just let myself been inspired. And I don't know if I buy that whole story, Ricard, that you were like, think of every 4-letter word possible, and that like really helped you. I mean, I don't know that I believe that. I feel like
it was like
maybe
an Evie
he
moment.
thought about it for a second, and then he was like, whatever, and then claimed it after the fact. But I don't know, he did that.
Well, wouldn't you want to have Jeff be like, wow, like,
good job, Evie.
That's how you play.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Like, no, it's not really, Jeff, how you do it. But I'm very appreciative if this is how Ricard's brain works, is that he starts thinking of things like that. I'm cool with that, but it's just, I don't think that I would be able to be thinking of 4-letter words necessarily. But vote and idle would probably be in my thought process.
I would have been like play, vote, idle. Like I would have thought of these words, but if they weren't there, I'd be looking for them, and I know that would distract me. I like a clean slate when it comes to things like that. I just need to like let me see it and absorb. That's just me.
So Deshaun was pretty close to winning here, or like they're kind of a neck and neck, but Ricard does get the win here. So just like it always happens. If you want someone to be voted out, they always will win immunity. And that is why you need to have a backup of the backup of the backup of the backup, and don't say your plan until after the immunity challenge.
Deshaun too was like, that's when he really started going downhill in this episode for me, because you need to focus on your own game. We see it in like the challenge or anything like that, when people just focus on their own thing that they're doing and not like stop and look and see what other people are. That's going to slow you down. It takes up space that you need to like assess how that applies to you, and you're never going to win because they're probably ahead of you anyway. Just focus on yourself. Hope others make a mistake if they are potentially ahead of you. If they're not, then you just are slowing yourself down no matter what. So when he started doing that, I was like, oh, it's over for him. Ricard was focused on it and was not worrying about anybody else. So
and
I'd probably be looking at others. So if I was lost, I'd be like, I'm cheating.
If you're
whatever.
If you're at the end, but you're going to be slowing yourself down. I thought he was doing a good job. Jeff was announcing that it was like really
close.
neck and neck. So I would have been like, okay, I just need to do me, right? You don't want to be like a what's her face on Big Brother, Erica, when she was doing that like 3D puzzle or something like that, and it was
Caitlin.
Or Kate? Who was it? Caitlin?
Caitlin, was it Caitlin? And it kept falling apart, that puzzle.
And it was the battle back. Who was that?
Oh, the battle back.
Yeah, Caitlin. It's a six-piece puzzle.
Oh,
I can't remember, but it was
like, a six-piece puzzle that they gave to her because they wanted her to stay on the show.
You don't want,
and she couldn't put together a puzzle of herself
in
3 minutes.
You don't want that kind of a moment where it's like you have a complete meltdown. And I feel like it was, you could see a little bit of that in Deshaun, where it was like, I was like, focus on yourself, Deshaun. But yeah, anyway.
So the 7-word puzzle was, don't make this next vote your last. So he doesn't really ever say that, but
no,
it's figure outable, definitely.
Is this where we saw the puzzle in the puzzle, or the game within the game?
No, that was a tribal.
Was that a tribal? Okay.
Was it a tribal? I remember when they zoomed in. They zoomed into it at a weird time, and I was like, "Oh, that's not where I thought that it would be."
It was right before they went to vote, so I was like, "Oh God, am I supposed to pause it right now? I want to know the results of the vote."
Yeah,
like,
I didn't pause.
Come on, Jeff. Come on, editors. What are you doing?
But Jonathan did figure it out already. So genius, Jonathan. I remember I was like going to go back and watch it, and then you already sent it to me. So I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, it's kind of dumb. So Ricard wins his 3rd immunity challenge, and so he's very close to winning 1 or 2 more, or winning 1 in fire and sitting in those final seats. So Danny gives him a nice "I told you so" under his breath, which is fitting. So right now, right after the immunity challenge, Ricard asked Danny about the idol. Danny kind of plays it off like, well, like, if I had it, I wouldn't tell you, et cetera, et cetera. So he's kind of leaving it lingering. And then my most disappointing part of this episode was when Deshaun and Danny are talking and they decide to vote for each other. and it was kind of like may the best man win type situation. Am I the only person who's like, wait, no, like if they decide to split the vote on you guys, it would be a 2-2-2. So you would have an opportunity to maybe with them seeing that, oh, Xander did not use his idol and you put 2 votes on Xander in the revote. Maybe Xander would be who is a bigger threat because he would be able to go out with an idol. So I was completely thrown off with the fact that they were okay with it being one of the 2 of them that went home.
Again, that was like a continuation of Deshaun like not being his normal like self, I feel like, and Danny just doesn't have that kind of strategic mind, I feel like. But I thought it was insane as well. I'm like, what are we doing here? Why are we giving up? Why are we like saying it's writing's on the wall, it's either me or you? I'm like, no, fight for it. I want to see people fight.
Yeah, I wanted to see like I'm gonna play an idol on me or Deshaun. Let's figure something else out. Like, let's get the votes somewhere else. Use the fake idol, whatever.
Absolutely. Danny could have absolutely been like, yeah, I found one and I'm going to be using it, but we just don't know on who yet. So, and that could have gotten a whole other, start of a conversation going and whatnot. So I was just like, but I agree with you.
Even to threaten Xander, being like, Xander, we're going to put our votes on you. Like, so either you use your idol or you tell us where you're voting and you vote with us so that we can all keep like our idols in play or something like that. Like, I don't know why they didn't strong arm some people a little bit being like, hey, like we still are 2 votes. Like I have an idol. I'll use it. You don't know where I'm going to use it. So if you split the votes, my 2 votes are going to matter. Do you want to be the person that's involved in this split? I don't know, something. I could not believe. I was like, wait, why is it just between the 2 of them? They have so many options. There's 3 other people that don't have immunity here. One has an idol. Like, I would have 100% have been like, hey, like, why don't we just try to flush that idol out from Xander?
It has to be because they're not afraid of Xander making it to the end, and they're all okay.
They're not going to both get there with if they don't take a shot at Xander. Like they would rather take a shot at each other than take a shot at Xander because they're not afraid of beating Xander. Well, he's beating one of you.
Yeah, it's I don't know what happened with them.
They had a chance to stay, like both of them. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I was like, they had a chance. They could have pulled something off. They could have, like I said, started a new conversation, forced a new conversation, and they just gave up. And that's what it was to me, was giving up. And Deshaun, you ate. So like, you have no excuse.
I was very disappointed in both of them here. I thought it was a nice moment when we saw Danny mention to Deshaun that he was an NFL player. And so they kind of had a little bit of a moment there, like, oh my God, that's awesome. But like, I was so disappointed that they weren't down and out. The writing wasn't on the wall yet. They could have done something, and people that would want it more, like Erica, I don't think that she would have allowed herself to. Okay, it's going to be me or Heather. No, like when it was going to be her as a part of the fake out, she was able to flip everybody to split the vote on Liana. Yeah. So I was just shocked that they were allowing themselves to be vote, like, that they were going to vote each other out. It was just,
I think it's the momentum of a lot of things, them like, kind of like things not going right the last round, and now Ricard winning. It was just a continuation, and they're like, plus the wear and tear of the game itself and being on it that long. So yeah, I mean, it was just giving up, really.
No survival instinct, though, honestly. Like, I'd just be like, no, I need to figure out something. There's always something you can do. Fake idol, like,
always.
Like something. Like, look at Adam Klein getting up and ripping off a piece of the podium, hoping that it's an idol. Like, I want that to be happening because they want to stay so badly that they're just, like, looking for anything. They should have still both been looking everywhere for an idol. Like, just because you looked for 10 minutes, Danny, doesn't mean that it's not out there, which we actually saw. So,
and let people follow you. Like, I'll find it in front of you. I do not care. As long as I find it, I don't care if you know, whatever. I'll play it the way I want to play it at Tribal, sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, I was really disappointed. I do think that this next conversation was interesting. I thought that Deshaun was going to be done for sure, but Xander was saying that they wanted to keep somebody that could potentially beat Ricard. So obviously Xander is somebody that could potentially beat Ricard, and Erica thinks that Deshaun is more capable of beating Ricard in an immunity challenge. What do you guys think about them weighing the strengths and weaknesses of Deshaun versus Danny?
Erica needed that with her narrative, with what she wanted to. So she was painting that picture on purpose, right? And yeah, I mean, it's a good angle to have, and it's a good kind of way to think about it, and propose it to other people. So I thought it was interesting. Erica's always playing. I'm telling you, I told you a couple weeks ago, I'm like, Erica's the one. I feel like she could win it.
She could.
Erica's my pick to win. It's not just wishful thinking.
I mean, I can see it now. I couldn't see it before, but I'm starting to see it being a possibility. But we're almost at the tribal, so we'll be able to kind of pick through what we think could possibly happen. And let me just catch up on some of these comments as well. All right. So Whitney says, what I read is that people felt that Xander would take credit for other people's moves, and that's why he's considered GOAT adjacent. Okay, I understand that. I didn't even think Xander was an unfavorable person. How have things changed? I mean, I think that he's just played the game longer with people, so that the way that people feel about him has just changed. Heather versus Xander, Jesus no. I mean, that would be hilarious. Hi, Exploder. The new twist is actually pretty cool because it doesn't really impact the game. Okay, hold on. Let's get to. I wanted to talk about the new twist. Okay, so at Tribal, Shan's face. Shan is not happy being on the jury. Like, there's no room for a smile on her face at all. She's just not. She's very much taking her job seriously, which is she can do whatever she wants. But where's Shan? Like, Shan's smiley face. But the biggest moment I would say at this Tribal was when Deshaun says that he had a conversation with Erica, and she says that Erica could potentially be somebody that she would not want to be sitting next to in the end because they played a similar game.
Heather, yeah.
That's what I meant, but Heather. Yeah. Why did he say this? Jonathan, you made me understand.
No, I don't. I can't. Because there's no reason. I don't think. I was like, where's your motivation for that? Why are you, what do you gain from saying this right now? And I thought, is he just not knowing what to do and is trying to scramble within this moment and completely potentially throwing his game away? And they flat out told him, this is why you shouldn't be doing this right now, Deshaun, because you don't know that it's you. But I'm just like, what are you trying to are you panicking and just scrambling? And he kind of said, well, I'm just going with what my gut tells me to do. I'm like, no. Everyone needs an edit button. I don't know. Again, downfall of Deshaun in this, specifically this episode, but it's been coming about, just having that kind of Shan rubbing off on him. I don't know what was happening because it was sloppy. I'm like, there's no point in doing what you're doing right now. It's insane.
Do you think he was trying to? Do you think he was trying to start a live tribal with Heather? Because she was
I think that's the only thing that he could have been trying to do, is just cause a little chaos.
Yeah,
maybe,
but not
but
good.
Why would you cause this chaos before when at camp? Yes. Instead of being just use that information, be like, Heather, Erica is not necessarily going to take you to the end of the game. Vote with us. Let's vote out Xander. Let's vote out Erica. Let's vote out somebody else.
Maybe he realized it in that moment that he was just like, it's come to me. I don't want to, and I don't want to have people think about it. I want them to panic and worry, and then let's just cause some chaos, and maybe someone else will go instead. Maybe they'll go after Erica. I last ditch effort perhaps, but I mean, you had a lot of opportunities. It didn't make any sense. It was just I
was just like, what are you doing. You don't have an idol. Like that's like the type of like move that you do when you're about to play an idol. You know what I mean? And like you're supposed to be like, you can't touch me kind of.
Let me rub it in. I'm gonna get what I want.
Exactly. And so I was just shocked. I was like, Deshaun, do you really just think you're going home and you want to just like blow up Erica's game like on the way out? Like, is that what you're doing? Like, I don't know. Or is it that if you stay, like, that you would be maybe think that you're hated and so that maybe they'll take you a little bit further? Like, there's not that many people to choose from right now. So like if you're an easy vote for everyone to agree upon, I think that you're still going to be on everybody's number one hit list to go home. So I was floored by this comment. I was also floored by Heather getting a comment from Jeff, and she was referencing chess with how she was gaming and her strategy. Bye, Jonathan. Did you have a little chuckle here when she was talking about, not voting out Ricard as being a chess move?
I understood what she was trying to say, but we just haven't seen Heather's game at all, so or non-existent game. So her throwing out a chess reference right over my head. I don't want to say I feel bad for her, but I do feel bad for her. I feel like we just don't know what she's been doing. I wish she would get voted out so we can actually know what happened or how she played the game.
Yeah, it must be upsetting for her to be watching like with her family. Bye, Jonathan. And being like, I mean, I was on the show. I did play this game. I don't see you, Heather. I don't see you, Heather. Jonathan, you're playing like Heather right now, just like invisible game. Not to be seen. You're like smiling. Did you like Heather's chess reference? Jonathan, do you not hear us? I love you.
I can't hear you.
Oh.
I can hear you.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I can't hear you. But someone called me and I didn't have it on airplane mode. So as long as you can hear me, that's great. I don't know what you're saying though, so I can just sit here and look pretty.
Oh, chess.
Votes?
Let's see. Okay, let's see if we can get it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Board.
Tally. What? Oh, I love this game. So fun. I don't know that you guys are good at this though.
Oh, take it.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's just going really like slow for me. I can like hear you, but the audio is like in slow motion. But I can't make out what you're saying. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll just look pretty.
I really just want you to get this though. Heather. Mm-hmm.
What about her?
At Tribal.
Mm-hmm.
Making a chess reference.
Chest.
Yeah.
About Heather's chest at Tribal and
T.
Why are we doing this? This is so weird. T.
Okay, whatever. Screw it.
I'm gonna try like restarting this and coming back in. I did that once, but it wasn't working.
Okay.
But this is crazy. This is crazy.
I mean, it was fun for me. It was fun for me. All right, so Deshaun shares his truth bomb. This episode, what was it called?
Truth Kamikaze.
Truth Kamikaze. But like, okay, Truth Kamikaze, fine, but why? Why, Deshaun? Why? To blow up your game? Is that what it was? It was a suicide truth kamikaze, suicide truth bomber. Is that what Deshaun is? Deshaun is a suicide truth bomber.
Yeah, it really pissed off Erica. And
when she turned around, did you see that condescending pat and being like, now I know I really can't trust you.
Yeah, thanks, friend. Call him friend. And you know what? Heather's gonna believe Erica.
Of course.
When it comes down to it,
Of course, of course.
Bad, Sean.
Hi.
I
Hi,
hear you.
Jonathan.
Yay.
Can I just describe to you for a second? It was like, like
That's
that's literally
amazing.
what it was. I'm like, what is happening right now? My mother called me. I don't speak to my mother. I'm like, what do you want? I'm like, I
What do you
talk to her
want?
like once a month. I mean, like, what's happening? I'm talking about Survivor. Sorry, I didn't have it on airplane mode, but I'm good. What were you saying?
We're just saying, what were your thoughts about Heather making a chess reference during Tribal?
Oh, see, I don't even remember that. What did she say
Well, when
about?
they were speaking as to why they didn't, because Danny brought up wanting to have voted out Ricard the previous time around, and first Erica was explaining why she wanted to keep Ricard, being like, Ricard hasn't lied to me. Like at this point, like I trust Ricard the best. And then Heather responds and being like, well, it's like chess, and like being like one step ahead, and like whatever. I don't even know what she said, but she made a chess reference.
You know, I don't know that I pay attention to Heather, to be honest with you. I think I like use that moment to assess what other people have said and just like skip over it.
That's fair.
I've decided to label Deshawn as, because the name of the episode is Truth Kamikaze, and the truth bomb that was dropped. So I'm going to call him a suicide truth bomber because he blew up his own game.
Yeah, I mean, Deshaun could still recover, and like Jojo said earlier, I think he's not the number one target, and he could still fall victim. So who knows? But I think he needs to make a few good moves before the end if he wants to win this game.
Yeah.
In Heather's bio on CBS, Heather's bio says she has a passion for possums.
Okay.
Okay. That makes more sense. We also learned that Tiffy only has sons. I believe that they're not young, probably like 18 to mid 20s, but depending on how progressive their school is, I can see them not necessarily knowing that much.
She's a teacher though. Like
true.
In New York.
True. All true. Hello, Bella. Thank you for joining us here.
Can I just
go ahead?
I just because I love them so much. So it's not possum, it's opossum. Yeah. Just to give the opossums some respect.
Fair.
Well, I was
thinking, I'm like, well, we were saying possums, and I'm like, and then I was like, isn't it an opossum? But I was like, maybe I'm just wrong, so I just didn't even bring it up.
Oh, I love it.
But thank you, Jonathan, for clarifying.
I just want to make sure there's no opossums out there that are offended. So
all the opossums are collectively being honored and respected. All right, Whitney wants to know, do we think that Xander will play it on himself or try to make a move? Is his ego too big to not think that everyone's coming for him? Or his ego too big to not be center of attention?
He's held on to it pretty tight. So I
don't think he should
make a move. Yeah, he should, but I don't think he will.
He'll play it on himself, if anybody.
If Ricard wins immunity, he needs to play it on himself.
Yes.
But he should try and make a move with it. I doubt he will.
What's the point of making a move with it, though? He'd be saving Deshawn. I don't think that people would respect that move.
No.
And take out Heather, maybe,
actually. I think he's playing with Heather and Erica, though. I think those
so
are
that's what I'm saying. Like,
allies.
there's no move to be made if Ricard wins immunity.
I feel like at this point we don't really know where everyone's true like everyone's true working relationships are. We know that who like is targeted next. So I don't know. It's like, did Heather, Erica, and Xander just fall into each other? But I've seen Xander and Erica be very like talking game the last couple of episodes together. I feel like they are close. And obviously Heather and Erica have been close. We've been seeing that all season, every single episode that they've been featured heavily pre-merge. We've seen them there are 25 confessionals each. Wink, wink. The sarcasm is dripping because we didn't know that Erica and Heather were friends.
Right? We didn't even know that. We didn't even know that.
No.
But that's because they're not showing enough of what's happening on the beach.
I know.
And that's what I've been saying. It's just, it's not this. I like this comment here. There's a queen to go with that king.
the Hangout Room says, Deshaun for me is the king of self-sabotage. I can't with him. I don't want him to win and be rewarded for bad gameplay. I mean, the only person that's been playing nice, like a pretty clean game would be Ricard and then Erica. I think Erica has been very succinct with like creating a plan, sticking to it, and executing. She hasn't, from what I've seen, been very sloppy, except for maybe pre-merge when she told Deshaun a little bit too soon. But definitely, there's a lot of sloppy game players this season. They're all sloppy.
And Erica let it be known. She said to Sean, like, I've been trying to play, like, we've really tried to play this game together, and you've made it so difficult to do that. So I think she called him out in front of the jury. Like, in my opinion, it was a really good performance in front of a jury at Tribal, and that's a really smart thing to be doing right now.
But also people like Ricard will recognize this, and he could use that against you if he ever needs to pull some numbers. I can see easily, if say Deshaun wins immunity and Ricard is safe, I could see him going to Deshaun and being like, you want to take out Erica, she's been coming for you this whole time, and flipping it on Erica. Like, I can just see him getting out, even if he doesn't have immunity. I think I could see him being able to twist it. So I have faith. I have the most faith in Ricard and then Erica to get things done. So we'll see. Hi, Jelly Donuts. So Jelly said, did you talk about new Celebrity Survivor spinoff?
Ooh.
I was excited about this, obviously, until I heard somebody that's already on the cast, and I'm not a fan. So I heard Colton Underwood, I've heard, is going to be playing on this Celebrity Survivor spinoff. He was one of the ABC's The Bachelors. He recently came out as a gay man, and he has a Netflix special that just aired on Friday coming out, Colton. And obviously I appreciate and respect anybody like on how they choose to share a story and come out. But the end of his relationship with Cassie, the woman that he met on his show that he jumped a fence for, that was in this like whirlwind romance with, apparently, he was stalking her and putting trackers on her car, and she had a restraining order against him. And like he like ended up resolving things to the point where she dropped the charges of the whatever it's called, and then he was not supposed to say anything more about their relationship. And so the fact that he has this coming out Colton series, and like his reps were asking her to be part of the series, and she's like, I don't want to have anything to do with them. And he's never really fully addressed him doing this. It's kind of like, oh, I did all these bad things, and now I'm going to come out, and then nobody's going to be speaking of all these things I did to my ex-partner. So it's just the timing of it. It's too sus for me. And the fact that he could be a stalker and then go and get a Netflix special, and now he's on Survivor. It's just like, that to me is rewarding bad behavior.
He just, he screams like an opportunist. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like he's taking his 15 minutes and absolutely running with it.
Maybe he'll be first boot. We'll get really lucky.
Maybe. I just saw him. He's the one with he has an older boyfriend, right? Like, I haven't watched the special, but I've seen a photo of,
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't think I can watch the special just because it's distasteful to me.
One celebrity that I am really excited about seeing, though, is Jodie Swinton.
Well, then, tell me who's on it.
Yeah, give us the deets.
I don't know who's on it.
This is like the celebrities that I recognize. Meta, and I recognize him from. I don't know how
Meta's going back there.
Celeb Big Brother.
Wait. Meta voted wrong.
And he quit.
And yes.
But he voted wrong. Remember?
Yes.
He was like, no, but I voted for them to stay. They're like, no, Omarosa and what's her face was like, no, you voted. If you said the name, it was for them to go. I just remember that. Get out of here, Meta. Go back to Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, shit. Has he been on it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. Okay, so Meta, Jodie Swinton from Full House.
Yeah.
She was Stephanie. I loved her. I think she's gonna do great.
Former drug addict. Love it.
Yes. Like, she was stealing pills from her cop husband. Incredible. Love that for her. Who else? A ton of other people I don't recognize.
Oh, really? Okay.
A
But hold on,
housewife
I have a
don't recognize
question.
her.
Why? What's the difference between this and I'm a Celebrity? Help! I'm a Celebrity. Get me out of here. What's the difference? Is it
It's like a
more like
brand new show.
Survivor?
No, I think it's similar to Survivor, but I don't think it's Survivor. And I believe Jeff Probst just became an executive producer on it, even though it filmed in September and October. So maybe he'll have something to do with, I don't know, the editing of all of the show. I don't think we're not going to get. I know it's going to be airing in April 2022.
Who
Okay.
hosts? If he had nothing to do with it.
No idea.
No idea. I have no idea who's hosting. I don't like who they've cast. I mean, other Jonas Sweetens will be interesting to see on something like that. But like, I definitely don't care about Meta World Peace, unfortunately, because like the last time he came on the screen, he wasted a spot, in my opinion. And I definitely do not want Colton to get even more famous. I don't want to see him. I wasn't a fan of him being the Bachelor. Like,
Mhm.
so there's nothing really else that happened on this episode, except for I had to say, we might as well just tell what happened. So they do a vote. It's a 3-3 tie because Deshawn and Danny voted for each other. So it's 3-3 in the revote. I was surprised that they didn't vote out Deshawn. They voted out Danny. And Danny is going to be leaving the game. I thought that he would be able to like maybe hide behind Deshawn and maybe win an immunity, get to the end, and maybe have a chance at winning. But he literally dropped the ball when he didn't try to make a move to stay. Like, I think he could have stayed.
Yeah. I think
Both of them
Deshaun
could have
saved
stayed.
himself with making his kind of 3-person alliance, and he just had a way better social game, Deshaun. So even though he's gotten really sloppy with a lot of it, I think that ultimately saved him. So I'm gone. I'm done. I wasn't the first person out.
Oh.
Boom. And look at what we got here, guys. I mean, I don't know if I have the
majority of the people left. The majority.
Which is hilarious. I mean, the only person that doesn't matter, I'm sorry, Jojo, is Heather. I just like she has no chance in winning.
Yeah.
Ricard obviously has a really big, I suppose name wrong. That was no, I caught that from somewhere. I didn't spell that. He has a really big shot in winning. I'd say second best would be Erica, then Deshawn, then Xander, and then obviously last spot here would be Heather.
Yep.
So what were we saving to the end, Jojo, to talk about?
I think I already spoke about it. The fact that Danny, I don't think Xander can win.
Right. Yes, and it's because of the fact that people don't respect his game really right now.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Should we make some predictions?
Yes, let's go.
Okay. How do we want to do this? Like,
wait. Before the one thing though I had to roll my eyes for, Jeff's like, another stunning tribal.
Stunning,
good of a
and I was
tribal.
like, no.
Like, it wasn't really that stunning. Like,
no.
He's really feeling himself this season.
I'm like, if it was, you edited it out. The stunning, the out.
All the incredible bits are gone.
The T out, the N, like
just an
ing, maybe,
just an ing tribal. Ing.
He just left the I in it, and he's like, that's all I did.
That's it.
Heather, Jess, comment, thoughts, Jonathan. Sorry, that was my favorite part.
Trying to help me out. I was like, "What is happening?" You're like,
yeah,
and I'm like,
I wish we could see it from your perspective. Is this the Whisper Challenge 2021? Yes, it was. Oh man, that was actually really fun. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Well, I mean, let's just see what are the chances are, like, what would it have to take for Heather to win? So we'll go backwards and to see like what you think a likely scenario could be for the next few episodes. So we learned from Jeff that
4 people quit.
There's going to be 2 immunity challenges. There's going to be 2 tribals. There's going to be 1 fire making challenge and then 1 winner of the game. So we also learned that they're moving to a new beach, which I'm like, that's a little bit of an F you. Like, F off, Jeff. We're going to move to a new beach and starting all over again with 2 days left in the game.
I do nothing. I'd like, I'm sleeping on the sand. Cool.
Yeah, I'll just sleep on the sand. Like, it's just F off. That's so annoying. It's not like, it's not good gameplay. It doesn't make things like compelling, Jeff. Like, I'd rather them be strategizing than building a shelter or something to sleep on.
I mean, if they kind of like, I'm like, does it affect the idol, where the idol is? Like, is that, are there, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, like, what's the point? I don't know.
Thanks for enjoying, Jessica.
We'll make sure it happens every week. Okay, this is what we're going forward.
Maybe that's fun, actually. I mean, it's like the season's over. Hi, Dolores. Yes. Oh, is the game within the game gone? Is this a game within the game realness styles? Yes, it is the game within the game realness styles. Maybe charades. If like you haven't done the game within the game and I know it and you don't, like I can try to like mime it out to you or vice versa. Do you know the answer, Jojo?
No.
Oh, maybe we should do that. You didn't. Okay, you didn't see it. Okay, Jonathan, talk about
first. Jojo, throw out your earbuds, and then we'll.
Well, no, I'm just gonna put it on the screen.
Yeah, it didn't take me too long. I was like, "This is it, right? Like this makes sense." When I sent it. Because I'm like, this is a saying, and it just took me, a good like.
Okay, so we're gonna do impromptu charades number 2 for Jojo. Okay. Where did I put it here? Okay, so should we help him out, Jonathan? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me use the mic. Am I just guessing what this is?
Well, okay, we could also help you out. So the first
word. Me, I see island.
Yeah.
Run.
But you have to get the minus.
Go to.
I'm just doing what the actual thing is, I'm not acting out this Rubik's.
Oh, then I'll just do this.
Okay, well, actually no, I'll do
hold on.
Okay.
Oh, I got it. I read it. I just looked at it. I'll go tally the votes.
Yay!
Yay!
That was
game
fun.
Within a game. Woohoo!
Okay, so back to us figuring out who. Okay, so what would it take for Heather to win? 4 people quit is Jonathan's version of Heather winning the game. Jojo, what's your version?
Heather winning immunity next. Heather winning immunity at Final Four, but then giving it to Erica, winning fire making, taking out Deshawn, going to the end with Erica, Xander, and
that's it.
And then saying Erica and I played the exact same game, but I just did all these things by saying that admitting they played the exact same game. And yeah, even though I don't think at all that they played the exact same game at all.
I didn't think so either when that was brought up. That was the only way that I thought that she would be able to win, potentially, would be pulling a Chris Underwood and giving away her immunity and making fire and taking who she wanted to take to the end. So I agree. And I don't even know even if she did that, if people would give it to her. So I do think that she has 0 chance. Then is Xander. So Xander, I don't know if he can win. He'd have to do something really flashy with that idol. He would have to like, I don't even know if there's a flashy move that he can make with it. Like save Heather, get out Ricard. I don't know. Like save Erica, get out Ricard. Go ahead.
I would say like take out Erica, save Ricard,
Yeah, I think if Xander like is single-handedly like responsible for taking out Erica and Ricard, I think that's big enough to potentially sway people. But at the same time, you do have, I think people are going to vote for Deshawn over him. So
yeah, I don't think he has a shot to win. Like maybe if he did the same thing that Heather, we just suggested for Heather, like go and make fire and like do all those fancy things, but
it's a little too late.
Yeah, if people just don't want to give you the money, like they just don't want to give it to you.
And for Deshawn,
I can see it, but it's slim.
Deshawn, it would have to be pretty much take out Ricard, then Erica, and go to the final three with Heather and Deshawn. Or sorry, Xander.
Say it again?
He would have to take out Ricard, then Erica, and then he would beat Xander and Heather.
Xander, yeah.
But I kind of have this is my prediction, my personal prediction. I think Ricard's going to go out 5th. I think Xander's going to win immunity, take Heather to final 3. I think fire making is going to be Erica and Deshawn. And I think Erica's going to beat Deshawn and go to the end. He's mentioned it twice that he was worried about Erica taking him out. I think Erica's going to be the one to take him out.
Take out Deshawn.
Yeah.
Or not, because we do see her saying in the preview to, I can't remember who she was talking to, but she's like, I hate Deshawn. Like she said something like that in the water. And so like, if they're going to show that, like, I hate Deshawn, and then she's going to be able to get him out, I just feel like that's just not going to be that easy. So I don't know. Hi, Dr. Phil. Thank you for joining us. So
not
who
a real
like
doctor.
More, Jeff Probst or TJ Lavin?
Hi, Robin.
For what? For like what they do, or like
for hosting?
I mean, it's different. Like TJ is good for the challenge.
Yep.
And Jeff was good for Survivor. So
I think Jeff would be terrible on the challenge, and
oh god, no.
TJ would be. I don't think TJ would be good on Survivor either, because he's not that energetic. So I think that they're better cast for their own shows.
I want RuPaul hosting everything.
I think, though, that this era of Jeff, I'm not a fan on, so I will give it to TJ right now, especially because TJ has All-Stars in the mix, and All-Stars is where his happy spot is. And so I'm enjoying TJ Lavin as the host of All-Stars right now more than Jeff Probst 41.
Phil Kogan is good. And he does tough as nails in between Amazing Race seasons.
Do you know who I really miss? Kat Deely. She was
so you think he can dance?
I loved she was an incredible host. So
she
good.
Is, yeah. She's very good.
Dr. Phil likes that TJ is sometimes a little hard on the quitters. I do.
No.
I do. Sometimes he's great. I like when he's hard on the quitters. You don't like them like that, Jonathan?
No, I like it. They're saying he's a little harsh on the. Yes, I like TJ, but I'm like, no, he should be. Quitters need to like.
Yeah.
See you later, quitters. I'd be this. Hope to see you never is what TJ says, and I'm like, yep. Get out of here.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not.
I mean, and I also think TJ is like, if someone has to leave because of like a valid reason, like there's something happening at home or whatever, TJ's not like, see you later. He's like, I'm sorry to see you go. We'll see you next time. He's not, if people are quitting because they're weak or, just giving up, he'll be, he's rightfully so. What is that puzzle?
Sorry, Child of the World. We didn't play it we got it figured out for you. It's part of the game within the game that nobody seems to talk about on any of the recaps because nobody cares.
It was Island without the and then you have to add the goat, and then what was the next thing? I forgot.
The library.
Alley. So the
alley.
And the T and the alley. So
alley.
Go tally.
Dove. So the
and then vote. What was the last one?
Notes.
Notes without the N.
Yeah.
So I'll go tally the votes.
Dove votes.
I'll go tally the votes.
Oh.
The pure panic in Jojo's eyes when he couldn't figure it out instantly was so funny to me.
Jojo's like, what is that?
Oh There's no way Heather will win. Shan, Tiffany, Evie, and Liana will make sure of that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the truth. That's the truth. Yeah, there's no way Heather wins. I agree.
No.
Arissa Costa's the greatest host.
Arissa.
Jelly Jonah, do you know that I went to
Yes.
school with her? I've known her since I was 8 years old. 9 years old. 9 years old, Miss Arissa Cox. Anyways, I want to be on Big Brother Canada so she could be like, I went to school with Chantele. I've known her for a long time. But you know, whatever. But yes, Arissa is, I think, the best host. And what I like about Arissa as a host is that she watches the show and she seems to be a fan. And I like the fact that now that she has been in an executive producer position, it does seem as though the casting has improved. Like it was better last season. And so I really hope that shows that people are listening to her. Obviously, she is a person of color, so having her perspective, and she's also a fan. I hope that it bodes well for this season's casting as well.
Arissa was on a reality show, so
I know. I auditioned for the Lofters. I know. I saw her at the audition. I remember we were in like there was like a really long lineup, but it went through like a school. And like I remember seeing her at the staircase at the school when we were.
My favorite host is Anderson Cooper on The Mole.
Oh. Yes, Jonathan, you are speaking my language. He is.
Or even Ahmad Rashad afterwards.
Celebrity Mole.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Kathy Griffin season. One of my favorite seasons of reality television was The Mole. Celebrity.
Oh, Jelly, always with the T. Okay, I need all the gossip to do with Arissa. There's no I mean, I had to like go and find like yearbooks and stuff like that, but I could. Yeah. She was an art major. I was a dance major. I remember because we had to do shows all the time. I just remember this show that we used to do was called Art Alive. We'd do it in grade 6, I think. We do Art Alive, and so we would have to like go to I think we went to an art gallery. We'd find a piece. We had to be inspired to create our own piece. And then from the piece that each of us created, we were in groups together where we had to make like costumes and outfits that reflected the art piece. And so then the art piece was projected. Then we had to do like either like some sort of dance thing. And so if I'm not mistaken, she did her dance to the song Sail Away. I feel like I remember her wearing like a bodysuit that had like striations of like lavender, like pastel paints. And she was like doing like a dance, and like mine was like mine was really funny. Mine was with Trish Lindstrom. Was it you guys that know Trish from Stratford? Maybe not, but me and her and this guy Chris did a dance, not Chris Jaco. That's all I got for you guys right now. Anderson is such a cutie. Oh, bring out the yearbook. I know I had to go back to my mom's house though. Those are dusty. Those are like 30 years old. They want some
like Wendy Williams tea on Arissa. Okay.
Yeah. She was like always a good girl. Juicy. I remember I saw her at a party, like, I don't know, it would probably be 15 years ago now. And like, she was just telling me how she just had finished like writing a script that was going to be optioned. So like, she's always been very like
hard worker,
exactly.
Yeah,
does very well. She's
like
always
that.
Excelling. Like,
yes,
I don't remember her ever doing anything like bad or anything like that. She was always a good student.
There you go. We like good people succeeding. So there you go.
Absolutely. And she's like someone that my mom has like her tabs on, be like, oh, how's Arissa? Oh, I saw when she was, you know, a host on E-Talk or whatever, one of those shows. So yeah, she's always been a good student. As far as I can remember, anyways. Okay, so Martin Holmes posted a while back that there was one last twist where someone could control the number of jurors somehow. Although this tea was a lot more low-key, so I don't know if it's true. Mm. Oh, yeah, so somebody else was mentioning the tea for this final episode is not that bad, but it's it could potentially, like, it's not going to really affect the game. Is that, like, what are they running around on the beach for? Are they looking for an idol? What are they looking for?
I would think so. Or maybe it's like you get to nullify a juror's vote if you make it to final 3.
Kick someone off the jury. That'd be nice.
That's normal.
Yeah. That's I think that was South Africa. They did that, right?
I love it.
That was a great twist.
They did it in South Africa, and they also did it in Michelle Fitzgerald's season.
Oh, who I love Michelle.
I'm a fan of Michelle now. I wanted Aubrey to win, but I'm a fan of Michelle now. And Nicki Minaj is the best host. Did no one watch Potomac? I haven't actually watched the Potomac reunion yet, but I will get around to it. I'm sorry, Whitney. Don't hate me. I have so many classmates that were Amanda Garcia's and just kept it real and blunt. I love them. I was the Amanda Garcia, I think. So I was the real and blunt one, we'll say. Anyways, I love you guys. Anything else you want to say about this episode before we say sayonara?
Looking forward to the finale.
Yes. Anything, Jonathan?
Nothing for me.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And
nothing
you want to,
from us.
Ooh, and maybe some charades. You want to get something across silently.
No. I'm a talker. I hated it. I hated that moment.
You did not hate it because you are a gamer. And
I was like, what's happening right now? I can't hear you. I don't know what's wrong with my phone.
Julie Chen was a good host too until Julie Chen Moonves came around. Absolutely. Yes. Everything changed and when she got that last name and her connection to Christ. Yes, decide to come all together. It's like, oh, something happened to Julie. Jonathan, go call your mother back.
I'm not going to. No. She could text me.
No.
Like a normal mother.
Yes.
Julie Chen was great seasons 2 through 17. Yeah, that's very true. Well, thank you so much, everybody here in the chat, for being patient and hanging out with us and speaking to us about this episode. I still can't believe we talked for an hour and a half. It actually seemed very quick. I was like, oh, that's a lot of time we've been talking. If you guys are interested, I will be going live at 45 minutes from now to watch All Stars Season 2, Episode 5. If you want to watch that live on Twitch at Reality Realness with 3 S's. So I will be doing that. Are either of you going to watch with me?
I'm not.
I don't know. I have to eat. We'll see. We'll see what's up.
I need 45 minutes to get food. Eat. Always we have to think about Jojo's bladder. What would you do on Survivor? Would you just be in the water peeing all the time?
Not even in the water.
It'd just be like
it would just be
I'd live in it. I'd have a UTI every day.
Oh my gosh. Miserable. Oh my gosh. Hold on, what's this? Shan must give Deshaun his brain bag. He's not been thinking the same since she left. Well, the last thing I want to say about them, though, they're both on the same pole. So Deshaun is a Virgo and Shan is a Pisces, and they're opposites. So when you have opposites, they're going to have like similar characteristics, but then also the exact opposite characteristics. And so I think that they saw all the unlikable traits in each other of themselves, and that's why they weren't able to get along, and that's why they're both kind of acting similarly in this game. So I think it's just because they're on that polar axis, those opposites. Lastly, did Arissa remember you when you went to BB Ken Live? Absolutely she did. She said, hi, Chantele Francis, actually, probably, because you know when you're in middle school and it's always first name last name basis, that kind of deal. You're welcome, Travel the World. Thank you so much, everybody. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. And we didn't get to Ricard because, like, we know how he's going to win. Oh, and we did Deshaun, so never mind. But who do you guys think is going to win? What's your ranking order? So mine is Ricard, then Erica, then Deshaun, then Xander, then Heather. That's the order that I would like to see them win, and that I'd be the most happy with. So what do you guys think?
That's the order I think as well will happen. I would just flip Erica and Ricard for who I want to win now, but I do think that's likely how it's going to happen.
Gotcha. I would be very happy with an Erica win, but I feel as though I think it has to be Ricard's. I think the fact that they keep on saying, like, hearing Danny be like, yeah, I told you so, and they're being like, we were going to try to get him out this time. Like, I think that he's not going to be able to be caught. I just think that they lost their shot. Anyways, love you guys. See you in 45 minutes or next week for the finale episode recap. Bye.